Hey, I'm Steve. I play guitar in PUP.
I'm Karina. I'm from Rock Freaks, Writer, and now it's Viewer. And I have a few questions.
Sure.
About the new album you released back in April.
Yeah.
And you released The Unraveling of PUP this year. How was it working with Peter Cates compared to Schiffman?
Yeah, I mean, it was different. I mean, the environment, I think, was the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Everyone who makes records who produces records always has a different style, so you have to, learning a different style was a new kind of experience for us. But the biggest difference, I think, was that we lived in that studio. So Peter's recording studio is like an old mansion.
Wow.
That has bedrooms and a kitchen and like different recording studios. So we kind of just sequestered ourselves and lived there for 5 weeks. And so that was kind of we could go record at all hours of the night and just kind of make dinner and just like a completely different rhythm than just going like treating a studio and recording like a day job.
Yeah, but did it put a bit less pressure on the production and just the whole process?
Well, I think the thing with us is we always just put the pressure on ourselves, regardless. So I think that's sort of the thing. We were very conscious of wanting to finish the record in those 5 weeks, so we would work pretty hard. But no, I think in terms of the actual pressure, like it's the same amount.
So, in your songwriting process, can it sometimes get a bit too personal when you're writing, or is it more of one of those, you don't want to restrict yourself, so you just say, screw it, and just go with it?
Yeah, I think more the latter. I think in terms of like the lyrical material, Stefan writes from kind of personal experience, and I think through writing about personal experience, he finds kind of something more universal. I think there are two ways to do it, right? You can try and write universally, and you can succeed or fail, and you can write from a personal standpoint, and that people connect with that in a different way, and then you can be successful or fail at that, right? So I think we try and go kind of all in as much as possible. We give each other feedback. There are times we disagree. There are times we agree. And, I think that's all part of sort of like meaningful creative work. Like it's good, in my opinion, music that I enjoy listening to, or I feel like good songs don't always come from everyone agreeing all the time. There's concessions that are made always. That's kind of the nature of collaboration, and I think that makes every song stronger than if just one person was calling the shots.
I agree. Yeah, because your lyrics are very relatable. I've noticed from my own person, but also like looking at comments on Instagram, Facebook. A lot of people, mostly young people, after COVID as well, have been like relating a bit to some of the older songs. Yeah,
it's been interesting too. I think we've been seeing that also in some of the shows here, like in Europe, and just I think a lot of people are really excited, and some people had never seen us before, so it seems like over kind of lockdown and over some of the kind of ups and downs of the last couple of years, mostly downs, I think, but there's been an audience that found our music maybe in a new way, or just like had never heard it before, and that's cool. It's really nice to see people coming to shows. We've been asking the crowd, how many of you have seen us before? And how many of you are new? And more, like, it's new people, which is really exciting.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm very excited to see that you nearly sold out.
That's cool.
That's great. But I have a question about your music videos.
Okay.
Because they are very creative, from DDP and if this tour doesn't kill you, and Totally Fine. They're very creative and very abstract in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
How do you? So do you have like a mind map? How do you?
Yeah. So we'll sit down. Our friend, very close friend and creative partner for a lot of the videos. His name is Jeremy Shaolin Ryu, and he's been working with us basically since the beginning of the band. He's like, he's a close friend more than anything now, but just happens to have kind of a mind that I think syncs up with us. So we'll all get together and we'll just come up, we'll have a beer and just kind of start riffing and come up with the craziest ideas. And Totally Fine was initially like kind of a Nestor and Zach idea that then Jeremy helped us make happen. If This Tour Doesn't Kill You, Jeremy was like, oh, I can, he heard the song and was like, oh, I have all these ideas. DVP was one of those ones that we all kind of were able to throw different video games and put it all together. So it is again. I think it speaks back to that spirit of collaboration in the same way that the band is about collaboration. And it's just been it's like almost trying to outdo ourselves every time now.
I would say with Totally Fine you managed that was brilliant.
No, thank you.
That was definitely one of my favorites. I've been rewatching it a few times.
It's funny.
And it's so hilarious.
Yeah.
But when you go on tour, what's like, do you have a tradition? Some bands have a pre-show tradition where they'll go into a hustle. Or...
Honestly, not really. We're pretty relaxed. Some warm-ups of our voices or our hands, drumming, whatever, and try and eat well, change into like
sensible
stage clothes, but it's not really. There's no like mystery, I wish there was. I wish I could like invent something for you, but
like pick-up.
No, maybe a little one small drink before, but even most of the time now, I'm not even drinking before the show. Just get on stage and play a great show for people, and then afterward have a drink or whatever. But no, it's not very exciting. It's not very sexy,
It's proper.
Yeah.
We're out.
Yeah.
And what about the most memorable tour you've had?
Oh gosh, there have been so many. I mean, I honestly think all the touring this year is some of the most memorable. I think both here in Europe right now and earlier when we were in the US and Canada and we were in Australia earlier this year. And I think after again like not really for a long time not really knowing if anything was going to come back or like if we were ever going to get to do there were times where I think we all thought we might never get to play music again. We might have to all get different jobs.
Yeah.
And so just to kind of have that back and be in a place like I was saying, new fans and another record that people like and just to be able to do this again feels so much more. I guess we feel even more grateful than we did before. Not that we were ungrateful before, but just how quickly it could be taken away. I think we appreciate now just how special this is.
Well, I agree. I think one of the things that, from just looking at the whole Instagram and stuff, you've also been very good at putting up some like silly videos, but also like keeping it personal, also during COVID and stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
so you've always managed to stay connected with your fans and be people like us.
Yeah.
We send you to a different one going, oh, you might be like this one, and it just got amazing. I discovered you had Finn Wolfhard.
Sure, of course, yeah.
And that was a trilogy video series, right? It started with Guilt Trip and then Sleep in the Heat, and then it ended with Kids.
Right, and Kids, I guess there's sort of a like, he's not technically in it, but yeah. Yeah, it's again, it's one of those things where it was all just people who we've met through being kind of open-minded and creative, and it's not like Stranger Things was a TV show when we met when we met him, and yeah, I don't know. We've been really lucky to just get to meet people who like to create things and like to make things and like to take creative risks, you know. And I think that's really kind of the most you can ask for.
Yeah, but so I have another question about the newest album. You started with the piano ballad.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing, I mean, initially, like I said, we were there for 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, I think we were very of sound mind,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
So sad.
making you know, the sensible decisions.
Uh-huh.
And then as time went on, I think we became less. That's part of the reason why the record is called that, right? And I think one night it was pretty late into it, and we just thought it would be so funny to open with the piano, right? I mean, we thought like the record is coming out on April Fool's Day. We knew that people would think maybe that was like we were playing a joke. Like, was this actually the record?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think every time we've with all of our records, we've always kind of tried to make a statement off of the top. You know, like Guilt Trip, and then If It's True Doesn't Kill You and DVP, and then Morbid Stuff and Kids, kind of, you know. And this felt like we were still doing that, but in a way that is completely different than...
Yeah, because it's definitely one that really stands out in a positive way.
Yeah,
like when you get all excited and just put it on and it's piano ballad, you go, oh, this is new.
Yeah, right? And I think that was kind of a, you know, I think that was sort of a very kind of intentional move on our part, and in a way of kind of making, I don't know, just like for people who've been listening to all the records, just kind of giving them something fun, kind of like turning it on its head a little bit.
It was brilliant.
No.
And what's your favorite song from the album?
Gosh, there are a bunch I really like. I mean, Habits. I think we did something that was really kind of special for us. Like, we've never really had a song that does that stuff with some of the electronic elements and some of, you know. And Matilda too, I think is a great one. And yeah, but I'm really happy with, you know, I'm just happy with how people seem to have responded to all the songs. You know, it's we knew that we were kind of taking a risk, but I think we realized that we had to do that for ourselves. But with any risk, there comes the possibility, or the possibility that there won't be any reward, right? That people will feel, fans could feel abandoned or whatever. But it seems like everyone has been pretty excited, so it's nice. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, I would say that it's nice to see you grow as musicians, as it is with any band, and so taking the risks, knowing that, hey, it might flop, but in this case it didn't. It was probably to everyone's, it was like pups here.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be fine.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, you know, I think all the music that we really love as like listeners, you know, and as fans of music, tends to be artists who think like that.
Yeah.
Try and take risks. Don't just make the same record every time.
No.
So, you know, I think that's a good way to live.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
But let's do 5 fast ones. And you can't think about the answer.
Yeah. Okay.
This is just 5 fast ones.
Okay.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Wine or beer?
Beer.
Pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
What's it called? Rhythm guitar.
Rhythm guitar or lead guitar?
Yeah.
Lead guitar.
Okay. Denmark or Germany?
Denmark.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been very nice.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to seeing you tonight.
Right. Well, it's nice to be back in Denmark, and hopefully we can put on a good show.
Last time you were here, you played Locken.
Yeah, in Christiana.
Yeah, and that sold out like wildfire.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. The food was great. They're feeding us here. I love it. We got to walk around today. It was great.
Where did you go? Did you see anything exciting?
Yeah, we saw some of the old churches and went to one of the some of the markets and got some coffee and got some traditional open-faced sandwiches, you know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Right on.